Questions and comments. The honourable member for Richmond Hill.
Mr. Speaker, I listen to the minister, and I have to say that it's a failure to understand. Failure to understand that the FCM put forth the notion that the gas tax is the best approach to take. It's the most efficient, and that has to go to new projects. It's not going to go into general revenue. It'll go to new projects. But I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker. I hear the minister talk about the Building Canada Fund. The government is great on announcements and short on delivery, very short. $8.8 billion in 2007 was announced. How much was actually spent in that first year? Zero on infrastructure projects. Last January, the FCM announced that the BCF fund has flowed less than $300 million of the $1.5 billion announced for the last 2 years. If the minister is serious about having projects in a very short construction season go forth, he will not play politics and say, we're going to leave it to the provinces. We're going to deal directly with municipalities. The way to do that, of course, is the gas tax. They're going to advance their 5 or 10-year capital forecast, and they're going to move forward. I'd ask the minister to comment on that.
The Honourable Minister of State for Transport.
Well, thank you very much, because it gives me an opportunity, that question gives me an opportunity to explain a little bit about what we're doing with the gas tax. And the concept, to some degree, is right, and we agree with it. Just to give you an idea, the amount of gas tax in the province of Alberta, for example, is one I've got numbers on right here. In 2008-2009, $95 million. In 2009-2010, we're over doubling that, $195 million. Wow. So it's not the municipalities are not going to have the money, but there is a principle and a concept that that I think my honourable colleague needs to understand, is that if you're not prepared to invest out of your own money in something, then you don't value it very much. And we're saying to municipalities, let's use the money that the federal government is prepared to offer. Let's leverage that with the province and the municipalities' money. And if they don't have the money, we've also put a fund aside so that they can make the political decision municipally to be able to borrow against that at a very low rate. So that there's no excuse for saying that they don't have the money. They have the money. Do they have the political will? And that's something that absolutely must be there if they're going to invest in the right projects. Because if we are going to spend, if somebody else comes in and wants to spend all of their money on your projects, you'll have all kinds of fancy projects that may not meet the ultimate goal of building the best infrastructure for the country in the 21st century. We need to make sure that we get that concept through and true.
This is a comment the honourable member for
questions and comments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to the Minister of State for Transport.
The honourable member for Richmond Hill.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to announce the official opening of the Richmond Hill Centre for the Performing Arts, which will occur on February 28th. The centre will be home for Richmond Hill's diverse arts community and will present an array of artists from across Canada and around the world. A strong economy must be strong in arts and culture, which is why I've continually supported this important endeavour. Opening night will feature Canadian superstar Louise Petrie, the debut of the Richmond Hill Philharmonic Orchestra, and a 130-voice choir from the Bayview Secondary School. Planning for the 2009-2010 season is already underway and will include touring Broadway productions, internationally renowned performers, and the world premiere of the new work from Modern Times Stage Company. The centre will be a great addition to Richmond Hill. It will also be the largest and most technologically sophisticated performance venue in York Region. I'd like to acknowledge the leadership of the Mayor and Council and Michael Gritt, the theatre manager. As Canada's former premier ballerina, Karen Kane, put it well, where the arts flourish, life flourishes. Where the arts are ignored, life is impoverished.
Hear, hear.